What's going on, YouTube? JD here with the next episode of JD Plays Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved Expert Mode. And I believe we're on about episode 6. And hopefully you're seeing the quality of the videos improve because I've started recording in a different manner than how I was doing it before. And yes, Jen, my day was pretty good. So I've taken the webcam off just because I don't feel like dealing with it, trying to put it on the stream and the YouTube videos at the same time. If it bothers you and you want it back, I'm sure I can attempt to accommodate and find a better way to do that. But for the time being, we're going to leave that off. Got a big night ahead of us, so I want to get started on several things. Compressor, going to look at the Forestry, Thermionic Fabricator, and Carpenter. Start doing some RF generation. Depending on how far we get with those, we're going to then look at some extra utilities, pipes, and nodes, and start looking towards our metal former and thermal expansion. I doubt we get the metal former done tonight, as I am trying to keep these two 30-minute episodes now. But at least we will begin trying to start making some headway on that, and we will see how far we get. So with that said, if we step over here, I've already got everything set up to make our presser. Presser takes 4 ingots and a piston, which pistons we looted from the villages, but they're pretty easy to make, used in tons of recipes. 3 planks, 4 cobble, an iron ingot, and redstone. Pistons easy peasy. The 4 seeds that you need are the hard part, and that's why we were gathering up all the gardens early on to make sure we got these seeds, or you could have crossbred them at your choice. They are celery, cabbage, oats, and asparagus, and that will give us our presser. Now the presser is super important to me because they allow us to begin our chain of production using soybeans, and as such, one of the first crops that I grew into a 10 cubed crop was soybean. I've also got a big field of wheat currently, and smaller fields of some of the rest of the stuff. Now eventually these cinder pearls will overtake most all other plants in terms of importance to me, but for the time being we're just going to set it up like this. And I'm going to drop my presser right here in the center, and I've already got some soybean actually stashed away back here, so let's make use of that. And what's going to happen is if we put 3 soybean in here, it's going to start processing these soybeans, and it's going to turn them into silken tofu. Now, it used to process them into milk first. I guess they have gotten rid of that because it was kind of a, it was overpowered to begin with, but when you could make soy milk, it was just ridiculous. But you can now use the presser with silken tofu, apparently to get both firm tofu and soy milk in a single step. Who knew? That makes it even nicer. Silken tofu can replace a lot of ingredients in a lot of cooked recipes, as like cream and things like that. But we're going to put it right back in. And what used to be a 2-step process, a 3-step process, is now 2 steps, and that makes me even happier. So freaking cool. Now I get milk and tofu from every silken tofu. I like that. Milk will be used to make cheese, and firm tofu happens to fill in the position of replacing meats in cooking recipes. With that said, let's go ahead and process a whole bunch of this. And just to give you an example, one of the best recipes in the game, and this is what we're actually going to use it for, is making this Culinary Generator. But one of the best foods in the game is the different variants of the hamburger. Okay, so with the tofu, unless once again this could have entirely been changed, we can take tofu and replace any meat. So change it? I don't know. We're about to find out. Come on. Toast and that's barbecue pulled pork, grilled cheese. Right here, hamburger. So you either need raw beef or firm tofu, and you get a hamburger. What's up, Sesh? From there, you can take the hamburger and upgrade it with a variety of things: fried onions, coleslaw, or cheese, and get a cheeseburger. Now let's look at the difference here. Hamburger is going to give 4 hunger and a whole bunch of saturation. Taking the next step to a cheeseburger, it's going to give 4.5 hunger and even more saturation. Well, the cheeseburger can be even further upgraded by adding more tofu to it, or lettuce and tomatoes, your choice. One will give you a deluxe cheeseburger with 6 hunger. The other will give you a bacon cheeseburger with 7 hunger. And here's the fun part, this can be upgraded further. You can then take mushrooms and add those on top to get a bacon mushroom burger, adding up to 8 hunger. And in a Culinary Generator, this produces a massive amount of RF. And we'll get to that here in just a bit. But for now, we've got our tofu underway. That's cool. Let's head back upstairs. So presser is done. Let's mark that off the to-do list right quick as we head back upstairs. So presser, done. Boom. All right. And I just need to fix something on my other screen. There we go. Okay. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is we want to get to our Thermionic Fabricator and our Carpenter, but I've got some more utility-based items that I would also like to knock out. Now, I've moved all of my metal casts over to here, and I'm going to get some ingots. And I've got a bunch of bronze smelter in here, so I want to turn my sequencer back on so it can start pulsing that stuff out. So let's get all that out. We've got a lot of stuff already poured up right here. We're good to go on that, so that's nice. So what we're going to make next is we're going to make our first gear. Now, the starter gear is just a simple wooden gear. And then if you take that wooden gear and you go around it with some cobble, you'll get a stone gear. And you're going to want that stone gear at minimum to pour out a aluminum brass pattern to get the cast for making gears out of metal. Because we need to make some metal gears for some of the stuff that we're going to be working on now. Specifically the Thermionic Fabricator, which is what I would like to go after now. Or Thermionic, however you want to pronounce it. So to make this Thermionic Fabricator, we're going to need some glass and some gold. We're going to need a golden chest, which we'll get to in a second. It's pretty easy to make that. But the sturdy casing will take 4 bronze gears. It will also take some bronze ingots. And to be able to pour those bronze gears, we're going to need that pattern. So we're just waiting on that to melt down. Sesh, the clock you're asking about is actually sitting right here. Okay. So let's get that stuff all done. And something. Let's close that. And let's close that window. There we go. All right. Now, I've also got some drying racks over here. You saw before I had zombie flesh up on them, turning it into zombie jerky. I also threw some fish on there and turned it into fish jerky just a moment ago, just because I had come up with some squids that I had killed. So while we're waiting on all that stuff to finish up, I've gone ahead and got ready to make a few other utility items. So one of the first utility items I want to talk about is going to be this golden bag of holding. Now this is another bag expansion. You know me. I need more inventory space all the time, and the golden bag of holding is one of the best. So once you can get your hands on 4 wool, 2 golden ingots, a diamond, and a chest, as well as a block of gold, so you're going to need in total 11 gold, you can make a golden bag of holding. This bag is super awesome just because of how much inventory space it has. It has a bunch of inventory space. This bag will actually end up replacing both of these two most likely, and I'll not carry them around any longer. The other advantage of the golden bag of holding is it can actually be enchanted by using a couple of pieces of magical wood to have the reincarnating attribute, which means when you die, it goes back to your bag. But remember, if you do die with it and it has reincarnating on it, every time you die, you'll need to replace the enchantment because it is consumed upon death. Now, magic wood, pretty easy to get. We're going to go over that sometime in the near future, maybe even this episode. We'll see how much time we have left. The next tool that I want to upgrade, atom, utility, whatever I want to grab, is going to be these cutters. The cutters are very similar to the sledgehammers in that we're going to need them for a little bit here at the beginning to get things rolling, and then we'll never use them again. But basically, these allow us to make wire out of metal plates. So we'll be using those in this episode. Next, I want to go ahead and get knocked out from Bibliocraft a tool rack. Now, what a tool rack is for is, I hang things on the walls all the time, and a tool rack is just kind of a nicer way to do that. So I'm thinking maybe why not, right here. There's a lot of stuff like these shears that I don't always want to have with me, and I can just put them in that tool rack, and it kind of creates a nice little graphical place to store them. Yes, I can hang things directly on the wall, but a single item takes up a single spot, and with the tool rack, I can put 4 items to a single slot. Now, there are several other items in Bibliocraft that I happen to love, and if you've ever watched my series, you know this. And one of them is the shelf. I can remember how to make it. Oh, I remember now. So there's a lot of really nice items actually in Bibliocraft. That's where the clock that I started using my automation came from as well. But you'll also find that there's the tool rack in here. There are potion shelves. There are oak shelves, which is what I'm about to make right now. And these are really awesome because, once again, it's just kind of a storage mechanic, but we can stick them right here, and that will hold, 4 of any item. You can actually access by shift right clicking the slots and just move things in and out of there. So they're really nice. They're really, decorative means of storage. The potion rack I'll also end up using down the road, but we're not going to make it right now. So the really nice things that come from Bibliocraft are the printing press and the typesetting table for duplicating enchantments. It's a really cool mod. Definitely, there's definitely some really nice things in there to make use of. All right. So that's kind of some of the utility items. Now, another utility item that I would like to get made, but I haven't yet, and so we're going to see about maybe taking care of that right quick now that I've thought about it. I meant to go out and do this before I started recording, and it completely slipped my mind. We're going to melt down some iron for just a minute. And while that's melting down, we're going to go look for some catal, aka cattle, because I need some leather. I can get leather in the Twilight Forest, can't I, from killing deer and stuff, I think. Deer or pigs or something. Ouch. Let's try that. I can't remember. There's a pig right over here. We'll try killing it first. Because I really can't remember if these guys drop leather or not. Let's see. He dropped meat. Now let's look for a deer. If not, I'll go find some cows. But nope, just meat. Okay. Is there any deer out here? I thought I saw some deer before. Well, I mean, I know I've seen deer before, but I'm not seeing any right now. Just lots of little piggies. And I cannot remember if deer drop leather or not, but I want to say something here does. Night, D. Have a good one. See you tomorrow, brother. Lots of pigs. Lots of pigs. Bighorn sheep. Mushroom forest. Lich tower, but no deer. Look around for just a minute longer because we got a lot to do and I don't want to waste much time doing this. There's some deer. Let's go kill a deer right quick. Hello, Rudolph. Oh, he dropped venison, but I don't think he dropped any leather. I don't even know if they do drop leather. Let's kill a couple more. Venison, looks like, is all. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to have to go find some cattle. I was hoping to be able to find some leather from other sources, but apparently... Oh, wait, leather! We did get some. Hi, zombie. Are you wanting to hang out with me and be friends? You're in a very dangerous spot, dear. I should save you. Here, why don't you join me up here where it's nice and safe? No, zombie. That's my deer. They just keep coming out. Look at them. The zombies are on the move today. Yeah, I see you. Trying to get at me. Get in that lava. Alright. So deer definitely drop venison and definitely... What's going on with all the zombies spawning suddenly? Not liking this. And definitely drop leather. So that's good to know. We ended up with 9 leather so far. And I think we got like 2 back at the house. So that's more than enough. So let's head back in. These things are super easy to kill. Oh, and I am going to be getting a lot more loot when I use the sword because I did end up doing a looting 3 enchant on it by adding lapis to the sword. So this thing has a pretty good chance of getting whatever I'm, out after trying to get. And we got lots of food, so there's no point in not sprinting. Alright, let's head back and go make use of this lovely leather that we've got. Oop. Okay. Now, one of the new patterns that I made myself recently was a tough tool rod cast. So let's drop that down. We should have some iron. It did not finish melting yet, so we're going to wait on that for just a second. While we were waiting on it, we're going to take some of this leather, approximately 6 of it, run it along the top and bottom here. We want a single piece of aluminum brass, which we have right there. And then we want this to melt. It's just taking forever. What's the problem, Iron? Cooperate with me. Alright. So for the thermionic, we can actually go ahead and get started as well. Do I have any more? Yeah, I got some more aluminum brass right here. I'm going to need that in it. Okay, so there's one of these. And there's the other. Okay. Now with that done, let's pull this stuff out. That's all I wanted were those two. Let's drop that down, let it get back to work. And then we're going to take this aluminum brass, let it get smelted down. There's one ingot to go. We're waiting on that to come out. Beautiful. We're going to pick that pattern up and we're going to throw the gear down. So as soon as that aluminum brass ingot melts down, it's going to pour us a new gear mold. And we'll come back and grab that in just a second. In the meantime, no, I don't want all those gold blocks. I want these two tough tool rods. We're going to put them here and here, and that's going to give us a knapsack. So yet another bag, because, you know, I'm all about the bags. This bag's different, though. It actually goes right here in this item slot. And it provides a new tab right here that gives us another tab of inventory. Now, this one's kind of nice because when you're in your inventory, you can just kind of click to it and go back and forth, and that's cool. But keep in mind that when you die, this one, you know, it drops all your stuff on the ground, and it can be kind of difficult to pick it back up. Some people don't like using the knapsack at all. Other people love it. It's more storage space for me. I'm going to use it. Advantage of the golden bag of holding. It can hold other bags. So that's kind of super useful because it basically exponentially increases your inventory space by doing so. And don't forget, we still have this strong box over here that we haven't really done much yet. We're going to be doing a lot with those very soon. So at this point, we have our casting table, our gear pattern. We need to make some bronze gears. Now I have 50 bronze right here, and I know I need to use 16 of it, I believe, for making gears for the Thermionic Fabricator. So, Alright, so the first thing we're going to be going after is this. So we're going to need those gears, and we're going to need the 4 ingots around it. Let's get that done. So we're just waiting on the gears for that part now. The other piece is going to be gold and a golden chest. Now, a golden chest is kind of expensive, I'm not going to lie. And we're going to need to get some of our sledgehammers to do that. So let's throw a sledgehammer in here. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to have to start off with an iron chest. To make an iron chest, we need 8 iron plates around a regular chest. So there's just an iron chest. And I'm actually going to make a second one of those. I'll show you why in a minute. Let's set those down here. Then we're going to need some gold. So let's grab a few blocks of gold here. Let's get some ingots. Take those ingots, put them under the sledge, and smash them out, and that's going to give us 18 of these. Let's put these around like so. And where's that other chest? Right here. So that's going to give me 2 golden chests. Now, one of those I know that I need for a recipe. And then I'm going to need these golden ingots for the other part of the recipe. Was it 2 or 3? It's 4. I'm just silly. Okay. And then we're going to need some glass, which should be in here. There we go. Alright, and at that point we're just waiting on the bronze casing, and for that we need the bronze gears. And all we're waiting on for the bronze gears is the rest of the bronze to melt down itself. So let's get these put in here like so. The other item that I want to make is a carpenter. And a carpenter takes 6 more bronze, another bronze casing, 2 glass. So we already know the cost of 1 bronze casing. So let's get another 16 ingots in there and see if we've got enough to even finish this up. I think we can. So put those in there. And we'll empty this. And we'll put 6 right here. I think it was glass top and bottom right there. And then we'll need to do a second round of these. Okay, so how are we doing? We got 2 more, perfect. Alright, so that gives us our first bronze casing, and we can begin working out with this while we wait on the other one to finish there. So there's, our first sturdy casing. So there's our sturdy casing. We can throw this one in there and we can get the Thermionic Fabricator. So that's done. That's off the list now. Awesome. Let's knock that off the list. And there's a question asked on the stream. Does this crafting table allow shift clicking of recipes into it? Maybe. I don't know. I don't really use that nearly as often as I used to. It might work, Sesh. I'll try it in a minute. So here's our Thermionic. Now with the Thermionic, we obviously, or not obviously, but if you look at it after you place it, this device requires power. You can see that up at the top. It's got 0 out of 3300 RF. And it's kind of the beginning step into our whole machine building side of things. So we do have some things that can produce some RF. I could just jump straight in and start using these hobbyist steam engines if I wanted to. But I've also talked about extra utilities and starting to use, the Culinary Generator. And with the Culinary Generator, one of the things that I know we're going to end up needing is an iron gear. So let's go ahead and put that into there. I think I need one more. Maybe 2 more. Okay. Let me see how now. Generator. So Culinary Generator right here. We're going to need the 3 firm tofu, 1 piston, 1 iron gear, 2 redstone, and some furnaces. Well, I've got furnaces. They're in my... I think they're in this builder's pack. Let's see. No, they're not in there anymore. Did I move them out? There's a piston. There's a couple of furnaces. Okay. So up here in this upper chest, we can put the furnaces in, put the piston in, put these across. There's our 2 pieces of redstone. So now we're just waiting on the iron. And here should be our last 2 gears. So let's check what Seth was asking about right quick. So if I pull up a Carpenter and I look at the recipe for it right here, and I see, oh, I need this sturdy casing, and I shift click, it did in fact fill in one of the recipe grids. So you are able to shift click into this. So there's my sturdy casing. So I can stick that sturdy casing in here and I can pull out a Carpenter. Now we don't need the Carpenter right this moment. It's more for here in a little bit. We're just going to set it down right there. And both of these devices come from Forestry, and both of these devices take RF. The Forester not only takes RF, but there's a tank here, and this tank needs to be filled with some type of liquid. Creosote, seed oil, water, honey, turpentine, various different things can go in here. And depending on what you're trying to make, depends on what you're probably going to want to put in there. But we've got that set to the side for now. And we'll get back to it in just a second. We're waiting on these iron ingots to finish up. And they should be finishing any moment. Come on, boys and girls. What time are we at on our recording here? We're under 30. We're doing good. I'm proud of where we're at. Alright. So we got an iron gear. Just take that iron gear. Let's drop it in right here. And we have our first Culinary Generator. Now the Culinary Generator can go right here, and it actually will provide power out of every single side of it. So if I were to start generating power right now, it would start feeding power into these devices. Before I ever start using this Thermionic Fabricator, one of the first things that I want to do is I want to get a lever for it. If you do not put a lever on this machine, it will drain power constantly from whatever it's hooked up to. So you want to have a lever attached to the front of this to turn it off when you're not using it. Now, that being said, with the Culinary Generator open, we can now look at the food values to power ratio. So for example, soy milk will produce 31,696 RF, and it produces 16 RF a tick. That's the same power production as a hobbyist steam engine, and yet I'm not using up any, burnable fuel. I'm not using any water. So that's pretty nice. Soybeans by themselves will produce 4 RF per tick. This venison that I picked up will produce 12 RF a tick. My monster jerky, 16 RF a tick, 11,000 of it. But now let's look at a real food like toast. Toast will produce 28 RF a tick. We're already doing better than we could have done previously. So we're going to put that in there, and it's going to start building some power. Now, the Thermionic Fabricator to operate requires something to be right over here. It needs either glass or sand. We're going to give it some sand. And I don't want to give it too much. I'm thinking we're going to give it like 4 for now. So let's toss that in there. And it says, hey, you've got no recipe at the moment. Well, that's true, I don't. The first thing that we're going to want to make using this Thermionic Fabricator is... Hey, how's it going, CJ? Well, thank you for hosting me, CJ. I appreciate that. One of the first things that we're going to make with the Thermionic Fabricator is we want to start working towards our assembly table and lasers. And really, the Thermionic is for the lasers. And these are what's needed to start making our chipsets. And we need to make these diamantine electron tubes. So these each take 5 diamonds and 2 redstone to get 4 tubes out of. Now, I've got diamonds and redstone right here in this box. So let's just go ahead and grab 2 crafts worth for now. And pull out our redstone. Now the way this works is you're going to put a recipe in here. The items are not actually inside of there right now. That's just the recipe to get it done. And when we pop the items in here, I'm not sure why it's not saying recipe. Did I do something wrong? It's been a long time since I've done this. Hang on. Got that, got that. Everything's in the correct order. It's powered. You can see at the top we've got 3300 RF inside of it. Okay, there we go. Okay, here we go. Missing liquid resource. So it needs to heat up. It's building temperature right now. Once it melts the glass, it will produce, based on the inventory we provide it, a number of diamantine tubes. And now that this is full on power, and this is full on power, the Culinary Generator is simply buffering up to 100,000 RF inside of itself. And it will cut off using power at that point, and it will not continue to use it. So while that's going on, we're going to run back down here, because if you remember, we left a whole bunch of soybeans going through our presser and turning into silken tofu. And that's cool. But we want to go ahead and change that over now and let them start becoming firm tofu and milk. Now, another thing, let's see, in my blue bag should be my bucket. Yep, okay. If we take our bucket and we put it right here, we can get out fresh water, okay? And I do this because it makes it easier to do something else I'm going to do in just a minute. I've got a few soy milks on me, and I've got a few more coming up. So with all the wheat that I've got sitting around, obviously I can make tons of toast. And since I have this nice massive soybean field behind me, I can make lots of tofu. Therefore, making cheeseburgers and burgers is pretty easy for me with the system that I've already got in place. And that's going to add up to a whole lot of power generation. And we're about to look at that right now. So let's head back upstairs, because we should have enough power now to make those diamantine tubes. So there's 4, and there's 4 more. So we've got 8 tubes. 8 tubes will give us 4 laser beams, and that's good. That's where we want to start with those. So let's turn this back off. That's very awesome for you, CJ. I hope that's a decision that you thought long and hard about, and it was on your own. I support it. I have a lot of family that's done the military path, but just make sure you're doing it for you is all I can say, because it's a big decision. All right, now to make these burgers, we need another special cooking device, kind of like the pot that we've made in the past. And that cooking device is the skillet. And I can't remember. Let's look. Pam's. Okay, here we go. Somewhere in here there should be a frying pan right there. Skillet. Okay, yeah, it's a lot easier than I thought. There we go. So we got us a skillet. So we take our skillet, we take our firm tofu, we take some toast, and we get some hamburgers. Now, regular toast produces 28 RF a tick. Hamburgers produce 32 RF a tick. And we still have this nice little pot sitting right here. Well, if we take the pot and we take the fresh water, we can make salt. And if we take salt with the pot and milk, we get cheese. If we take the cheese and the hamburger, we get cheeseburgers. And cheeseburgers give us 35 RF a tick. So let's run back downstairs one more time. And we should be able to get a little bit more firm tofu out right here. There we go. cheeseburgers and firm tofu burgers give us bacon cheeseburgers. It's just getting better and better. We're just compounding it. And these bacon cheeseburgers are going to produce 50 RF a tick. That's almost double what we started with. If I were to throw some mushrooms on there, it would be double what we started with. Those are some very powerful items for producing RF early in the game. 50 RF a tick is, I mean, that's pretty dang good. So we've got our Carpenter. Let's knock that off. I can't spell Forestry. Apparently I had to put an extra E on there at some point. We've got some RF generation. That's awesome. I want to look at some stuff from extra utilities for just a minute before we call this done. We're at about 30 minutes, but I think we can squeeze this in. So at this point, I could use the ability to transfer liquids. I could use the ability to transfer liquids for my farm. I could use the ability to transfer liquids to make the automation of my smeltery better. I could use it just to keep my coke oven empty. And one of the easiest ways we can start that is within extra utilities, which I'm already using some stuff from. So extra utilities is what provides us with this golden bag of holding. It's going to provide us with a lot of items we're going to use throughout our time, like the magic wood and eventually these ender cores, things like that. It's also what's providing us with the culinary generator right now. What I want to make right now, though, is something a little bit different, and it's called a transfer node. So there are item transfer nodes, and there are liquid transfer nodes. And we're going to start off with a liquid transfer node. It takes a bucket, a block of redstone, or an ender pearl, some lapis, and some pipes. Now, if you use the ender pearl, you get 4 of these. And that's actually pretty nice. And it just so happens that I have an ender pearl downstairs. So I'm going to use it. And I'll go get another ender pearl hopefully later. That's a funny coincidence. So here's an ender pearl. Let's head back upstairs. We need some pipes. And I think I've actually already got some pipes made from an experiment I was doing previously. If I can find them. Right here. I've got some pipes. Okay. And these are really easy to make. To make these, you just run 3 stone slabs across top and bottom, 2 pieces of glass, and some redstone. So the pipe's very, very simple to make. All right. Let's see here. What am I? I'm missing redstone, I think. Am I? I got a bucket. Yep. Hold on. Transfer node right here. Nope, I'm missing lapis. That's what I was missing. Okay. So let's grab a little bit of lapis. Okay. And we're going to use our crafting grid right here. And we're just going to plug that recipe right on it. So this one. And that's going to give me 4 of these transfer nodes. Now this stuff is awesome because now I can take this, hook it up right there, and take these out. Let's grab our and now as it creates creosote, it's going to drain it into this tank. Now that's great. But there's other places I could use it. For example, down here, I could use this as a means to keep my sprinkler system running all the time. But you can't just place one of these down on top of water and expect it to suck up water. It takes one additional item to be able to do that, and that item is a world interaction upgrade. And it is right here. And it's not very hard to make. 4 lapis, some iron ingots, and a diamond pickaxe. And we're going to get one of those made right quick. I will show you how that works as soon as we do. So we need 4 diamonds. We need 3 more diamonds to make the pickaxe. And I need a couple of sticks. You'll do. Okay. And so let's open the crafting halo. Let's get ourselves some sticks. There we go. Diamond pickaxe. Beautiful. Alright. And I think we needed some lapis. I don't know why I grabbed so many diamonds. I was thinking about a different recipe. Grab some lapis. There we go. Alright, turn this on. And I keep losing it. There it is. Click. And there's our world interaction upgrade. So how exactly does this work? We're going to come back and use this machine in a second. We're going to still its tank for a minute. If we come downstairs, and I've got a infinite water source already built. See you later, CJ. Take it easy, bud. I hope to see you on here again. So I've got an infinite water supply right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick a piece of sand down. I'm going to stick my transfer node right here. And then for demonstration purposes, we'll stick our tank right here. Now right now you can see that it's already hooked up to the tank, but there's nothing happening. Well, that's because there's sand under it, right? Okay, so let's break the sand. There's still nothing happening. In order for it to actually suck that water up, you have to have this world interaction in place. And once you do, you can now see this is filling up with water. And it's actually draining that source block of water out from under itself, but because it's an infinite water supply, it refills itself. Using that same principle, I can use this to refill my entire tank system up top. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So if we take all this apart now. Okay. So I now have the ability to transfer liquids around. And working with items works kind of the same way. You stick a transfer node on a chest, you run a pipe to wherever you want to send it to, another transfer node, and you're able to start moving items around. The item transfer node right here, I might make one right quick. I want to get this video cut off in roughly the next 5-ish minutes if I can. So for the time being, what I'll do is, this should work. Let's see, do I have a, yeah, you'll do. So I'm just going to put, we'll put this here for now. We'll put that right there on it. We'll break the chest. There we go. We will put the tank right there. We'll set the tank to empty into here. So you can see down there right now, all of my sprinklers just turned on. They're all running now because all the water that was in that tank went into my oak wood plank barrel water tank system. So it's showing 4,200 water in there right now. And I'll stick this on there. And now you can watch at the top, that water levels in there are steadily rising. It's up to 10K and it's just rising. So from this point forward, because I built on this lake, my water system will always have water flowing through it. I can run those sprinklers nonstop, which means that the output of my crop yields is from this point forward always going to be increased. Just by doing that little simple process. And I'll come back later and I'll clean that up a bit. But I'm going to go ahead and show off the item transfers, and so we can kind of start making use of those soon. Similar to how we have this strong box from Thermal Expansion, there are items called caches in here. And a cache is a very simple form of a storage. So 4 tin and a log will get us one of these caches. So let's grab some tin, and I should have a log right here. And what the purpose of this is going to be. There we go. So a cache is a single item type storage. And let's say that I put one right here. Okay, and I'm going to put a diamond in it. Alright, so we want to make the transfer node for items. So stone, redstone, transfer pipe, very similar to the liquid transfer. I don't have another ender pearl at the moment, so I'm not going to be able to make 5 of them. But we're just going to throw all this stuff in here right quick. Bam, 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 bam. Do I have the stuff for a chest in here? I should, yep. Throw this in here. Yeah. We need a block of redstone and 2 redstone powders. What did I do with those? Did I use all those? I thought I still had some of those. Very strange, sir. Oh, wait. I just saw some. Right there. That, and then the pipe. Okay, so now it gives us an item transfer node. So with this, if I put this in here and put that up there, right now, it's going to try to grab whatever item it can find in there because I don't have it really filtering anything. But we can, as you can see, it's trying to suck items out. So if I took this diamond out, actually, it's now going to pull all of the stone out of this chest and put it in here. And it's going to go in order one by one, unless you put some item filters and some speed ups on there. Okay? So, kind of in review, we've got some new bags. We've got a golden bag of holding made. We made the oak tool rack. We got some snips made. We added in a Thermionic Fabricator, a Carpenter, and a Culinary Generator. We started making some RF. We've got our first set of diamantine electron tubes, which we're going to use in the next episode to be able to make lasers right here. And those will be used to make chipsets, which will take us towards our metal formers and on down the line for machinery. We also looked at how my farms are set up. We did some liquid transfer nodes. We did some item transfer nodes. So we can now move liquids around. We can now move items around. That's going to be super nice. Now, in terms of what I had going on before, I was, pulling liquid out of here and putting it into a tank. And I need to get rid of these freaking jars because they're not helping me out for what I want to demonstrate with that. But I no longer need a tank to be able to empty this coke oven any longer. So that's kind of nice. Instead, I can just do that, and it will empty itself for me. So lots of good things happening. The next step will be getting those assembly table and lasers off the ground. That'll let us start getting our chipsets made, and the chipsets open up a whole lot of content to us. So between now and then, I'm probably going to start kind of restructuring the base a bit. We're going to start making use of the ability to transfer items around using these item caches and strong boxes and stuff like that. I'm probably going to change my smeltery setup a little bit, and we'll see where it goes from there. So as always, guys, if you liked it, like it. If you'd like to see more like it, subscribe. I have put out at least 3 videos I know are uploaded to YouTube, and I think 2 more are on their way. The quality of the videos should be improving because of the way I'm recording now. And as always, I do stream while I do this, so feel free to stop by the live stream and hang out with me, chat it up, all that good stuff. Yeah, that's it. You guys take it easy, be good to one another, and I'll see you next time. Laters.